Hey, what is going on? This is the Seriously Serious show here at Remedy Live where we chat, listen, love. There goes the camera. Hi there, what is going on? I'm your host, The Pels, with EJ and Cha-Ching. But I'm very excited to have Ronnie from Red Jumpsuit Apparatus here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How's your day?
Doing quite well. Like, You're like seem at a lot better place than I am right now, like in the scenery in the back.
Yep, I'm hanging out in Florida in my hometown. Got a couple days off, so just doing some laundry and house cleaning. Not super interesting, but that's actually really fun when you're in a band and you're never home. It's fun to just sit around and like be in your house for a couple days, so I'm enjoying it.
Well, that's nice. I know that you've been basically, doing your thing and you're on tour, so you got a couple days off, so you're at home. You're getting ready to go out, but let's talk a little bit. You've been doing this for over 10 years. What's that sort of like, just to be part of something for that long?
It has been a long time. I'm 30 years old now, so that's kind of weird to say out loud. And,
yeah.
But I've been doing music a lot longer than 10 years, though. Me and my brother, who plays guitar, stage right, and does a lot of the programming and co-writing with me. We've been making music since we were 8 or 9 years old. We grew up singing all the songs in church with my grandma, and I don't know, we've always been musically inclined. My grandpa bought us some guitars when we were like 8 or 9 years old, just handed them to us and said, learn how to play these. And we did. It was really weird, I guess because we were close in age, and I don't know, he played banjo, so we kind of watched him play a little bit. So really been doing music my whole life, but in a rock and roll band for 10 years. And I've seen it all. It's been a wild ride. Definitely been blessed to have made it this far and still be alive, that's for sure.
Cool. Well, it's great to know that you've been doing music for so long, but like you said, you've been doing it like professionally for 10 years. And we have a lot of kids that are big fans of yours. What would you say to them, like to the teens that maybe they're spiritually seeking through things? Like, what advice might you give, just maybe through like your examples and your life that you've lived, since you have lived 30 years, and these kids and teens just see your lifestyle? What advice could you give them?
Well, it's definitely been a challenge. For me, I like to speak in like reality and not just not vagueness. So, for me, I would say expect a challenge. It's not easy to stay righteous. You have to really strive for it. And I've struggled with that a lot in my lifetime. And I've had ups with it and downs with it. But either way, that's the whole reason for salvation, because we're imperfect beings and we're relying upon Jesus to save us, not our works to get to heaven. So I would say don't beat yourself up too much, but don't, remember what's important and keep your eye on the prize, which is spreading the gospel whatever way you can. I choose to do it through music, but you're doing it through Skype right now. Everybody is figuring out their own ways to be their own messengers. So as long as that's the bottom line and you're trying to share the gospel and do your best to live righteously within your means. I had a really crazy childhood. I had a full-blown drug addict as a mom, and my dad was an alcoholic. And that story was our big first single, Face Down. And I was mad at God for a long time because of that, because I felt like I was cheated out of my parents, and that I don't know, we were old enough to understand that things weren't normal, and we were going to school with all these other kids, and they're going to barbecues every weekend, and all their parents loved them and come to all the events, and we just didn't have that. So it was weird for us. We developed this sense of resentment because we were Christians and we knew God existed and we knew that Jesus cared about people on the earth, and God did, and that there was this relationship between what's going on up there and what's going on down here. So we felt like we were being blacklisted and we didn't understand why. And that basically led into my later teen years. And so if you're having like misconstrued, I wouldn't say hateful, but just if you're not really understanding the way the Holy Spirit works and the way that God works in our lives, it's easy to get upset and angry when things happen out of your control and to blame Him or blame others. But and that led into drugs and alcohol, obviously, because if you're not if you're not in a personal relationship with God, then what are you doing? Then you're just living in the world. So naturally, you're going to fall into the world because that's what you're doing, even if you are a Christian. So hopefully that doesn't happen to any of you guys, because it was rough. And eventually I got over it, and I realized that Jesus was there the whole time. And you just have to understand that certain things are out of people's control, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't there experiencing that pain with you right at that moment. And the right way to handle that situation would be to just understand that he was there and that he knew everything that was going on, and that he was there with us. And that's probably why we made it out alive. So, everybody goes through their own personal struggles, and just because you're a Christian doesn't mean every day is going to be easy. You're going to win the lottery tomorrow. All the traffic's going to part, and you're going to hit every green light. It's still a struggle. If anything, it's more struggle, especially if you believe in things like spiritual warfare, which I definitely do.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I totally understand that, and I totally see that. But I saw a video here at Remedy, and I totally agree with everything that you're saying, and that's great. But it was really interesting how you talked about you and your brother's rock. Would you mind just sharing, who was the rock in your family when you were growing up and little, and just talking about her a little bit?
Yeah, that would be my grandma, Jeanette. She's an amazing lady, and she's really the only reason why we're even able to be regular people. My parents, when they finally got tired of beating each other up and all that, they basically just imploded. So there was nowhere for me and my brothers to go. And my grandma has always been the spiritual rock of our family. That's what we call her, because she's always tried to get everyone to go to church and to read the Bible and to live with Christ instead of just going to church every Sunday and sitting there and singing the songs and paying your tithe, but not really having a relationship with God and understanding that that's what's important. That's what makes everything worth it to even be on this planet, and to even be here and to share fellowship with other people who understand and see things the way that you do. So she just kept working on us. Like I said, my parents split up, so her and her husband, my grandpa, Gene, adopted all three of us because they were going to split us up and send us off to orphanages. And then she just kept working on us, and like I said, we had a lot of anger problems and drug issues and other things, and she just kept, beating us with the word, I guess you would say. And eventually we understood, and if it wasn't for her, we would have turned out to be completely different people. I'd probably be in jail or dead by now for sure. And, she's just awesome. I'm really glad that she was so spiritually sound, and she knew that eventually that we would see through whatever it was that was blinding us. And I have to believe now that was Satan, knowing that what me and my brother are doing now, the ministry that we're creating, we have been creating over the last 2 years, once we fully switched over to being 100% vocal about our Christianity and promoting ourselves that way, has exploded for us. So it's almost as if he knew that the whole time and was doing everything he could to stop us. I mean, that's my opinion on it anyway. But luckily, she was there, and like I said, Jesus was always there. So we made it. So he's in trouble.
Yeah, that is an incredible story, because I think you're speaking to a lot of people, that especially our audience, that are people that they're going through things and they don't quite see things correctly, and they do oh, I'm a Christian, so life should work out perfectly. And your story is a perfect example. Just because you're a Christian, life doesn't work out perfectly. You've had ups and downs, you've had struggles. But what's really cool is that we also have people that want to be the rocks for other people, and they might not see it right away, but your grandma was constantly there from the beginning, constantly there no matter what you were doing, the ups and downs. She still loved you even when you were down, and that just is such a cool story to see where you were there, and then how, you said it, saying, tried to, but now the last 2 years, you just can really see what God's been doing in your life and affecting. And so that's just been an incredible, powerful story for me, and I also know our audience. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
Yep, she's still, she's still the one that we all go to when we're searching for scripture, or, if there's any type of event where the family just needs guidance, she's still there. She's still the one. So
that's really, really cool. So I want to get a little bit on a question. Do any of the band members actually own a red jumpsuit?
No, there's been a lot of band members over the years. Hired and fired a bunch of guys, which is part of the transition that we did 2 years ago. But of all the people that have played for me, no, nobody has owned one.
Okay, well, maybe, well,
Unless he's hiding in the closet or something and never showed me.
never showed you. Okay, well, we might try to build one here, and so you can wear one out there and be like, "That's from the Pell." Since I owe you already, I feel like I already owe you for being on the show, and I probably already, made mistakes and all that kind of stuff. So maybe I'll try to get you to the red jumpsuit because I think that'd be cool. So, but you're on tour. You're coming up near. What were you saying?
I don't think I would wear that, but maybe my drummer would.
Okay, well then there you go. You can tell whoever needs to wear it, and that would be awesome. But you're coming actually up in our area because we're up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But you're coming up, and you're doing a couple last shows in this country, and then you're heading over. Can you tell us a little about what your schedule is going to be?
Yeah, and that's just another great thing about these last two albums that we put out is we're going all over the world, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with our music, but we make it pretty blatant how we believe, and I would like to say it's impossible not to get at least, if not a direct spiritual connection, then to get somebody wondering about these topics that I'm talking about. So we're going to places like Amsterdam, Germany. We're going to Paris. We're going to Moscow and Russia, which there's ministries all over there. People all over there are still a lot of them are still just now finding out about the gospel. I mean, some of those places are very obscure, especially, places like Bangkok and the Philippines and Singapore and Australia and New Zealand. And those are all places we've either been to or are going this year. So I just feel like, I feel like we're doing what we need to be doing, or doors wouldn't keep opening the way that they are. So I just hope we can continue to live this way, which I believe that we will. And I don't know. I'm just happy to be in the moment right now. So hopefully everything continues the way it is.
Cool. I only got two more questions for you. One is I know the answer to, which is a little bit shocking too, but we've had questions a lot. Where'd you come up with your band's name? Where did you come up with it?
Well, this band is actually a side project. Our original band was my brother Randy, who plays guitar, was the singer and the screamer, and I was a drummer, and we were a Christian metal band called Dishonest. So we thought it was cool that we were called Dishonest because all of our lyrics were basically, one of our songs was called Ask Omega. I mean, it was very, not praise and worship because it's metal, but a lot more Christian than even where we are now. And that was right kind of after my grandma had intervened and going back to that old story. And then I started writing more post-hardcore and punk rock type of songs. So that turned into another band, which inevitably became Red Jumpsuit. So in the beginning, it was just me on my couch with an acoustic, and a couple of my friends would come over, and all my friends were musicians. And, it wound up just being oh, yeah, you play drums, hop on the drums. The original lineup never even played a show. That's a funny fact about our band. Not many bands can say that. So basically, when it came time to pick a band name, we were all just friends. We weren't even really officially a band. It was just me and my friends hanging out at my house because I had all this gear, because me and my brother had a different band, and they practiced at my place. So it was kind of almost like open mic night, but with the same songs that we did every time. So when it came to the band naming process, nobody really had a direction or a vision. And we just threw a bunch of names up on the wall, and the Red Jumpsuit won. And our bass player at the time, named James, this is in 2003, that's a long time ago, he builds stealth bombers for the military now, secret agent style. He came up with the word apparatus because he's crazy smart. And I really like that because I was like, well, what does that mean exactly? And he's like, well, it can basically mean anything. And when you think about it, and I was like, all right, cool, yeah, that sounds cool. That's it. I mean, it's pretty arbitrary. There's no master meaning, unfortunately.
No, I still like it. I still like it a lot. But what we like you to do before we end our time is, can you share some of the stuff where people can find you on Facebook, maybe Twitter, or I know you got your website. Send our fans to know where they can go to find more about you guys.
Yep, I mean, we're easy to find, we're at Red Jumpsuit on Twitter, and, Facebook, we're the Red Jumpsuit with over 1 million likes, so that one's pretty easy to narrow down. And redjumpsuit.com, our new video's up there for our song Remember Me, which actually charted #1 Billboard Radio Christian Rock, so we're extremely proud of that. And, our buddies at Shamrock who helped us out with that. And you should watch that video, it's really good, and it has a really deep spiritual message, and I hope you enjoy it and check it out, redjumpsuit.com.
Yeah, I watched the video today. It was awesome. I liked it. The whole water scene, yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff, so definitely check that out. I want to personally thank you, and thank you from Remedy Live for taking time out of your day. I know you're vacationing and all that kind of stuff, so we want you to get back at that, but we just want to thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you. This is cool. I don't do the Skype thing much, so it was fun.
I'm glad that it worked out. And so now I'm talking to you, audience. You need to go check them out. Check the video out. I loved it. They have a bunch of songs out there. Go look at their history. Go look at their kinds of stuff. They are doing a great, great stuff. We're actually going to play some music right now from the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, the Crazy Ones, here at Remedy Live, where we chat, listen, and we love.